To continue on with multi-body parts, I'm going to show how, in general, you can create multi-body parts in several different ways, and try to talk about ways in which you might use these techniques as we work through the techniques themselves. Let's start a new part from our Infinite Skills part template. And the easiest way to create a multi-body part is to create what you might call disjoint solids in SOLIDWORKS. Early versions of SOLIDWORKS did not allow this. It would give you an error that said that you were creating disjoint solids. But now we have the ability to create separate bodies inside of a part file. This technique is rarely truly necessary, but it is convenient quite often to help you build different types of geometry or parts, or to represent manufacturing techniques even within SOLIDWORKS. The various reasons you might create disjoint solids would be possibly one of these bodies is used as reference, and the other one is the actual design body that you are working on. It could be that one body is a tool, such as an item that will be added or subtracted from another body. It could be, as in the chain example that I showed in the last lesson, that one of these parts has been created separately and just needs to be combined with the existing body in this part. It could also just be a method for making parts such that the multi-body state is a temporary condition and the end feature will really be a combined solid. For example, if this were really a telephone and you needed to join these two shapes, you could create something like this. I guess I'm showing my age if I think that this looks like a telephone. And then we could loft between this shape, and this shape, putting some end constraints on it. And in the abstract, possibly, this looks like an old-fashioned telephone. So, in the end, SOLIDWORKS joined the two separate solid bodies into a single solid body. If I roll back before the loft, notice we have a solid bodies folder with two separate bodies, and then the loft feature has an option within it to merge the result. And what this means is that it will merge all of the bodies that it touches. In the feature scope, SOLIDWORKS is spelling out which solid bodies will be merged together. So bodies can be created separately, joined, and they can even be divided. So for example, if I were to make a cut like this, and make that cut go through all in both directions, SOLIDWORKS is going to ask me, which bodies do you want to keep? And I'll just say all of them. So I've divided that single body now into two separate bodies using a cut feature. Another method for dividing bodies is the split feature. So if we were to go through the menus, the insert, features, split, the top plane can be used to cut the part. And now SOLIDWORKS has divided these two bodies into more bodies. We have 6 altogether. And these bodies can even be assigned names and saved out as separate part files. This involves some of the more advanced master model techniques that are described in the advanced course. Now, if we expand the display pane like we did in the assembly, you can turn off bodies, you can change bodies to wireframe display, and you can make bodies transparent. There is another tool that is intended to be used as a multi-body tool, and it's new in 2013. Let me see if I can show you how to use it simply. We're going to create first a large solid body, and let's make this go in mid-plane extrusion. And then I'm going to create another solid body, which is inside the first solid body. So I'll extrude this in the other direction, not all the way through. And the important part here is to turn off merge result. If I were to just have the merge result turned on, then this body would just be engulfed by the other body. By turning off merge result, we can see in a wireframe view that the cylindrical body is inside the rectangular body. And then also we could have a body like this. If you start to get into surfacing, surfacing is entirely multi-body modeling. So we're going to create a surface body that goes through the entire part. So the new feature that I'm talking about can be found under Insert, Features, Intersect. It can be used to combine surfaces, solids, and even planes together to get solid regions. So let's intersect these, and SOLIDWORKS has come up with, based on those inputs, a set of regions. So that could be a solid, region 2 could be a solid, region 3 could be a separate solid, region 4 could be a separate solid, and region 5. So we can add or subtract or use the planes to cut or the surfaces to cut the solid. Let's just select region 3 because it is the one that makes use of everything. And what you want to read before you click the OK button on this is that this box says regions to exclude. So the region that I selected turns out to be the only region that won't show up. And that's what this invert selection option is for, to get you probably what you intended to get in the first place. And I can hide this surface body. And so the intersect feature has taken several solid bodies, surface bodies, and planes and combined them to create multiple solid bodies, or you could select any single solid body. We could go back to the intersect and also turn off that body, and SOLIDWORKS joins them together. If we go back and edit the options here, we can turn off the merge result so those two bodies will be separate bodies listed individually. And we could select a color for a separate solid body. We can go back to intersect and add another body, and so on. So SOLIDWORKS has evolved into a highly multi-body tool. But you can use the software for years and years doing a lot of different projects without ever getting into the multi-body capabilities. Multi-bodies in solids are important, but multi-bodies in surfacing turn out to be the only way to work. Surfacing is also part of the advanced course from Infinite Skills.